Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at Jen's Arty Inclinations, a place to create, share and play. Okay, so today in my little journal that we're filling up, it's starting to get there. So I thought where I've got these ledger pages, they're actually tearing because they're so old and delicate. So I thought, well, let's go with that and see what we come up with. So I'm just going to tear that edge off, and I'm going to tear that edge off. And I thought, why not make them little flips, but with journaling spots on the back? So that's what I'm going to do. That one's tearing again, so let's make that a twofer. So that can sit like that, and then that. And what I'm thinking is, on the backs, that might be tearing a little bit as well, so we might make that one a twofer as well. That can be the front. Okay, there's method in my madness. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to just back them with coffee dyed paper so that then they can be nice sturdy journaling spots. Super simple. And then we'll work out some kind of a hinge. As much as it would be nice to keep the original, I will, for the sake of strength and so forth, I will actually make this a full back. All right, I'm going to put you within that. Make sure I've glued right around to the edge. Squish you down. Now I've done the wrong thing there. I've actually glued the big piece rather than the small piece. You should glue your smaller piece first. So we'll make that the back of that one. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So just popping my glue on. You can go onto this bigger sheet. There we go. Make sure you're down really nicely. Next bit. So I just think because they'll be flipping, that it will be nice for a hinge. And you know how in collaging you have to get used to the fact that you do lose some good stuff sometimes. So you have to sacrifice it for the overall look. And it's hard to cover things up, but it adds to the texture. It helps create a unique piece. Well, that's kind of nice because we'll get quite a bit of the lovely ledger paper on that too. So we'll still have the writing, and yeah, it'll just make for a nice little piece. Now I'm wondering if I cover the back of these as well in the actual book, and then we could have a little flap. Now let's have a look. Yes, that could be really quite cool. All right, need to find something to put on the back of them. Yes, that's what I'll do. I'll make it as a pocket. This is watercolour paper that I scraped over some acrylic paint in some different blues, inking the edges. Okay, now what I'm going to do is do a thumb hole. I have a little mark on the side here that tells me it's halfway, so I just like going just above that. Probably could actually go a bit deeper. Yes, about there. That's being picky, isn't it? Somehow it makes a difference. Alrighty, nice. And then what I'm thinking is they can be on the other side a pocket, and I'll do the hinge over the page. All right, yes, my head is getting it together. So now I'm just going to trim around the edges. Maybe I should tear that. I think that's probably going to be better. Yeah, so I'll tear. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You and you. Okay, and you can be cut. Again, it's always easier if you put the smaller piece under the ruler where you're tearing, and then you're holding that bit down really firmly when you're tearing little tiny pieces like this. There we go. Now I'm thinking little small piece on the bottom edge. Corner rounding all four bottom edges. All right, inking the edges because that's what I like to do. And now I'll have that as a pocket on the outside, and then I'll have these as little flips on the inside. And for the hinge, just these strips of fabric across the top. So, magic of camera, I've gone away and I've sewed the edges, and I'm just snipping them into shape now. So now we've got these with their strips of fabric sewn onto them, and then I'm going to sew both together onto a scrap of coffee dyed paper. Nice. Okay, so now we can just stick it all down. Really, really want that all out to the edge. Yep, that'll work to make sure that that's all the way down, which it is. There we go. Now you guys can flip quite happily. I did it the wrong way. Oh, no, I didn't. All right. So that's how that's sitting. And now I'll just glue 3 edges to put the pocket on the other side where the hinge hangs over. And I'll put some baking paper underneath and a brick just to set it while I'm doing this side. Okie dokie. So this time, glue down my other side and pop it under so that it will flip nicely too. Get rid of our brick and glue the pocket down to cover the other hinge. Oh, and I did also sew around the edges of the pockets too. Now, I wasn't actually thrilled about how that wasn't flipping smoothly on the left side, and so what I worked out is I just trimmed it just below where I sewed it on, just to let it fold down a bit more freely. That's much better. So we've got a pocket on this side, and we've got a flip out there, and then we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, just for a bit of fun. Now let's put something on the middle of this, hey? So I'm doing alternate half hitches. So pop your string over one side, pull a little loop up through the middle like that, and do the same on the other side. So you just pop your string over and pull it up through. So just when you do a little row of alternate half stitches, you end up with this really cute little chain, which I just love the look of, and it's really easy and quick to do. So then on the end, I popped both sides of the thread through a little butterfly bead, and I just tied a knot on the bottom and on the bottom of each of the strings. So there it is, all complete. Very, very cute. And then it was just a matter of, there we go, rounding the corners because it just felt like it needed it. So there we are, little pocket, little flip up on each of those sides with journaling space underneath and a little pocket on the back. That's today. Take care, and I'll see you again soon. Love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy.